that lot of students have to go back to India. मतलब job नहीं मिलती है तो काफी लोग उसी वक्त निकाल दिए जाते हैं as soon as they complete their degree. Is that still true?
So hey guys, in this video we'll be talking about why you should still consider studying in UK, especially the best universities of UK over the US, and what funding opportunities, scholarship opportunities and salary you get in both of these countries. But first, I want to share that if you are preparing for JEE Mains, Advanced or Math Olympiads, you should still consider doing that because it can help you not only in Indian universities but also to get into best universities of UK, Germany and also the US. So when I was researching for the best platforms to prepare for that, I found QMath, which will not only help you prepare for Math Olympiad, NCRT solutions, JEE material, but will also give you one-to-one tutoring so that you can prepare well and visualize math in much better way as compared to your normal textbooks. And QMath has more than 40,000 students and most of them are tutored from the teachers from IITs and University of Cambridge. So definitely try it out, and if you will use the link in the description below, you will get free demo class and up to 10% discount on your first paid class as well. So definitely try it out. So hi Gursahib, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Gursahib. I'm a second year student at Imperial College London. I grew up in New Delhi and I decided to study in the UK, and I decided between the US and UK and eventually ended up here in London.
Perfect. So my first question would be, are you British citizen or Indian citizen? I think you have British accent.
I'm an Indian citizen. I just speak in a funny manner. So
Cool. So now let's talk about your college. And Imperial College London is very well recognized all over the world. It's top 5 for STEM majors in UK. And my first question would be, why did you choose Imperial College London versus some of the best universities in US? क्योंकि काफी बच्चे मुझसे ये पूछते हैं कि it shows different perspective rather than Cambridge, Oxford. So what's unique at Imperial?
So I like to say that first of all, I had gotten into universities in the US. So I had gotten into UCLA and NYU, and then eventually I was choosing between UCLA and Imperial. And why I ended up choosing Imperial is because it's in London, and I feel that first of all, for Indian students, my parents felt more comfortable sending me to a country which is closer. Secondly, I'm a Sikh man, and I feel more comfortable in London because there are a lot of Sikh people around. And thirdly, I'm a big football fan. I watch a lot of football, and my college is like right next to the Chelsea stadium. So I watch a lot of football over there. So that's more of a personal reason.
Yeah, we can see from the wallpaper behind you as well. You're a big football fan. Amazing. Now let's first about the fees in UK and other universities. So मैंने personally सुना है that कि 1 crore is standard all over the world. So is 1 crore a standard in UK as well? So what's the overall tuition fee and what scholarship opportunities you get?
Okay, so my tuition fee is around £30,000 a year, and the thing to note is that accommodation and food and bills, all of that is not included, unlike the US. So it can
Meal plan
get
नहीं मिलता meal plan नहीं मिलता आपको
meal plan nahi milta, so we have to cook ourselves. That's a big difference. And with that, it goes up to like and accommodation is separate, so around 40 to 45,000 pounds a year, which is around 40 lakhs. So it, especially in London, it can cross the 1 crore level. But
the big thing is
the big thing is that it's 3 years over here, where so I'll get a bachelor's degree in 3 years, while my friends graduating in the US will get a bachelor's degree in 4 years. So I save a year there.
Yeah, but एक disadvantage इसके साथ ये भी आती है that you cannot change a major. So let's say that you are studying math, right?
Yeah.
So let's say in between you don't like math. So what will happen next if you want to switch from math to computer science?
Yeah, so in the UK, they are pretty strict about that because first of all, when you apply, you have to apply to one major and you can't change. And if you do end up deciding that you want to change, so आपको एक year, you lose 1 year essentially, or एक year फिर से करना होगा, where you start from year 1 again in computer science.
Oh. But if you're completely mindful कि आपका major क्या है, you can in fact do your masters in 1 year as well. Is that true?
Yeah. So they like for me, if I want to do my masters, I do 1 extra year. So in 4 years, I have a master's degree, and I think that's a big advantage over the US.
Wow. So later on, if after 4 years of undergrad and masters, आपको US वगैरह बाहर opportunities मिलती है? Do you get opportunities all over the world through that degree or no?
No, yeah, I think we get like especially Imperial. Latest rankings, it was ranked 8th or 9th in the world, and then it is quite a big name, especially for STEM. And so a lot of the people who hire us also, like the big companies, when they hire you, even after that, if they hire you in London, they might send you to other countries, and I think that's a big advantage.
Oh, but मैंने personally like UK में London में I had only heard about Cambridge University and like the Oxford University because of the Nobel Prize winners. I thought those are the only well recognized universities. मुझे पता नहीं था Imperial College London is also well recognized. So what are some of the key differences between these two universities, you'll say?
Yeah, so Imperial was actually made to be the MIT of the UK, so it's quite, STEM focused. And while comparing with Oxbridge, I like to mention the salaries, the average salaries, because for Imperial, it's around £38,000 for average salary, like after the first year of graduation, and it's around £30,000 for Oxford and Cambridge. So that's a big difference, especially in like courses like computer science. Average salaries are around £50,000, and like in the UK, it has the highest average salaries. So I think that's a big benefit.
Oh my God. So 50,000 pounds is very competitive with US because like in cities like Atlanta, Washington, DC, you get close to 80K to 100K. So it's pretty close out there. But like मैंने सुना कि UK में expenses भी बहुत ज़्यादा होते हैं. Like, do you think you are saving as much as you would have saved in US? Like अगर आप part-time jobs भी करते हो, because like in US you save basically maximum taxes इतने नहीं होते and so on.
I think यहाँ पर your healthcare is a big save, because when you come into the country with your student visa, you get free healthcare, and the NHS, the healthcare in the UK, it's actually pretty good. The other thing is कि यहाँ पर आप अपने expenses control कर सकते हो. जैसे if you want to like stay on a budget, you can cook on a budget, you can like live in a budgeted place. So a lot of my friends who want to stay on a budget, they live further away from university and bike 10 minutes more, and you end up saving a lot of money. And the other thing you said, there are jobs available, part-time jobs, and you should note that for students in the UK, international students, there's a limit on how much you can work. But even still, like especially in the university, you can get jobs for double the minimum wage hourly rate.
Wow, so around like 15 pounds an hour. That is much more, like much more you get in US. Like because like in California also, like you get $12, or Atlanta may $8 to $10. It's massive. So you can save a lot of money. And now let's talk about some of the scholarship opportunities, because I perceive that at Oxford and Cambridge University, you can get OCSI scholarship as an Indian. So if you get accepted to Cambridge or Oxford as an Indian, you can apply for it and you'll most likely win, or you'll most likely get it if your financial needs satisfy that, then you are eligible. So I'll list down the requirements here and I'll link it out. But let's talk about Imperial College London. So what are the maximum amount of scholarship you can get there?
So I have to be honest here, बहुत बड़ा disadvantage है. Imperial doesn't give many scholarships. There are some major specific scholarships for say mechanical engineering, but they are really hard to get. So I'd say scholarships you shouldn't bank upon for Imperial, and I think that's a big disadvantage.
Yeah, that is considerable. So that means the first priority or the first top option for all the students should be need blind and need aware schools, because funding is first important. And later on, if that doesn't work out, they can surely go for Imperial College London. And now next further question would be, what advantages you got overall by studying in UK versus the US, like major in terms of a career and overall, like?
So I think the biggest advantage, as I mentioned before, is that I save a full year by so what the disadvantage to that is that the first year that you start studying, you go right into your major. So unlike the US, you don't have a general year of education where you can try different things. For me, like if you know what you want to do, then you can start like studying that right at the beginning of year one. So that's a big advantage.
Oh, and what about internship opportunities? Are you starting immediately? Do you get internships in your first, second, third year as well, or no?
Yeah, so they, especially like at university, the career service, they really help you to get internships, and they are obviously hard to get. You have to stand out.
And another thing that I've heard a lot about in London and UK, that a lot of students have to go back to India. मतलब job नहीं मिलती है, तो काफी लोग उसी वक्त निकाल दिए जाते हैं as soon as they complete the degree. Is that still true?
तो काफी सालों के लिए that was true, and this year actually, Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, he announced a new scheme where after graduation you get to stay for 2 years to find a job, and I think that's really useful. And even like what I like to say is that if you're from a top 5 university in the UK, you will get a job. Like a lot of like a lot of people do end up getting a job. You shouldn't be worried about not getting a job. And especially with the 2 extra years you have now, I think recently it's changed. So there's much more opportunities now.
So now let's talk about what is required to get admitted to Imperial College London. So is that true कि वो SAT, ACT just like in US colleges accept करते हैं, like, or is it's completely different procedure?
So because I had applied to US schools as well, I had taken the ACT and I had gotten a fairly high score in that. And I think that if you have it, it's good. It's not necessary. For Imperial particularly, you need at least a 90% mark in your board exams. And I'd say you have to be around the 95 or higher mark to have a good chance of getting in. For engineering applicants, I think it's useful to have a position on the JEE advanced test because they ask for that and it can help a lot.
Oh, so like that is required as JEE Advanced is mandatory or optional?
It's not mandatory, but a lot of engineering students can be helped. Like they suggest it.
Oh, so it's very similar. आपको apply पहले करना पड़ता है before your 12th is over, but it's like conditional acceptance. They say that as long as आपकी JEE Advanced 12 score नहीं आई है, they will never like say कि you are accepted, right?
Yeah. And what I'd like to say is that for students who like applying to many countries and they don't have strong extracurricular like profiles for them, the UK values your academics much more. So अगर आप पढ़ाई में better हो and that's what is good for you, then you should apply to the UK because they don't care that much about what you do in your other time.
Wow. So it's fairly easy to get into UK if you don't have extracurriculars and आपको सिर्फ अपने numbers game खेलने हैं. Like it's more about numbers and US में होता है it's your overall picture. So if you play the numbers game well, you can get accepted to UK's best.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow. And now finally, overall conclusion. So do you regret studying in UK or you wish काश मैं US में पढ़ रहा था? I wish I was in US. I would have got into more activities, more extracurriculars, more fields, more majors, or you are happy there?
I'm personally very happy here. I don't regret because, as I said, even here there's a lot of things to do, especially in London. It's such a big city. You can try out so many different things. Like I'm Indian and I've been playing ice hockey, and there's no ice hockey in our country. And I think you can try like so many different things over here that I think you should definitely consider the UK.
Amazing. So overall college experience, even though it can lack one or two features of US, but on the other hand, कुछ features ज़्यादा मिलते हैं UK में, so it balances out the overall student experience. So are you able to secure a part-time position in college so that you can pay all your housing expenses? So हो जाता कि नहीं? क्योंकि US में आसान है.
हाँ, तो part-time jobs in London काफी easier to get, but then you get paid minimum wage. The advantage is that if you get a part-time job on campus, that pays like double the minimum wage. So those are easy to get as well. So those are useful. But the only restriction is that on a student visa, there's a limited number of hours you can work. So even still, I think with the course that's going on for you, I think the number of hours is enough.
Okay, so you can cover basically housing. But the only thing is cooking culture is very common. So people don't eat out as much in US. So आपको खाना बनाने की आदत डालनी पड़ेगी. That's the only thing. Perfect. So thank you so much, Gursahib, for sharing your valuable information. It was a pleasure having you here. I hope this video adds a lot of value to all the students.